Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and we are right now in the spooky season. This is the first Who's That cosplayer of the spooky season, and joining me today is the awesome Purple Toast Cosplay. Purple Toast, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm great. I'm doing good. It's night and everything has been finished today, what I had to do, so I'm happy. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. I know me and you are both in two different time zones, and that is one of the cool things that I love about Who's That Cosplayer, because this year I feel like I have interviewed so many people from so many different parts of the world. Now, I know you told me where you were from before we started this thing,
Mhm.
but can you tell everybody that's watching right now, where are you from?
Hey, hi. I am from Croatia. Um, to clarify, I always say to people like, "Do you know what Croatia is?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Do you know where Italy is?" Yeah, so we're across the sea.
Okay, that's awesome, awesome. And see, I didn't know where Croatia was, but I do know where Italy is. I interviewed Mama Bruno, and y'all can check out their interview. It is up here on YouTube, and they're from Italy. And the cool thing that I love about Mama Bruno is whenever she says goodbye, she always says arrivederci. So
Oh,
so before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And as D always says, podcast link down below in the description. So like, follow, subscribe. So let's go ahead and get into today's interview. So Purple Toast, the first question that I ask each and every guest up here is, what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who you are.
well, hi, I'm Toast, obviously, and well, I went to cons when I was a child. I mean, around like 13 maybe, and I
Yes.
always saw cosplayers, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And then I would be like, "Oh, there's games, I want to play some." So I basically ignored them, and then, for Halloween as old kids, I like to cosplay, put on costumes. And then people are like, "Oh, so you're a cosplayer?" And I was like, "What is a cosplayer?" So I Googled and then I found what cosplay is, and I was like, "Well, that's what I saw at cons." And then I was like, "Well, maybe I could." And so I did.
That's awesome. That's an awesome origin story.
Yeah.
And I love what you had mentioned about, like, dressing up for Halloween and stuff like that, because we
Yeah.
are we are in the spooky season right now. And I hear that from so many cosplayers, is that Halloween was their gateway into cosplay.
Yeah.
And are you one of those cosplayers where it's like, as a cosplayer, you know who you want to cosplay as, but then when Halloween comes up, you're like, I don't know what I want to be for Halloween? Are you one of those type of people?
Yeah, it's always like that.
That's
I
awesome.
usually I usually cosplay before Halloween, and then Halloween comes and I'm like, well, I did like 5 cosplays this month. I don't think I want to do this.
That's funny, man. I mean,
Yeah.
and I totally understand that, because it's just like, man, like, I just did all these cosplays, and now I gotta wear some regular Halloween costume.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference, and it's like you can feel it when you look at the Halloween costumes. Like, I don't know if y'all have a spirited Halloween over in Croatia, but
No, no,
over
we don't.
but I'm sure you've seen the memes of Spirit Halloween, how
Yeah,
like they just
yeah,
invade old buildings and stuff. And it's just like, you can go in the Spirit of Halloween and find whatever. You can find whatever anime costume you
mhm,
want, but it's like, it's not the same thing. It's the same thing,
yeah,
but it's not. I guess it's just the quality. I feel like if you're gonna get that costume, you're only wearing it for Halloween. You're not gonna wear it to a convention or anything like that. So
yeah.
speaking about conventions, tell everybody, how was it like going to your first convention? How was that memory for you?
Ooh, hmm. I was Chloe Price for my first convention. And it was nice. It was weird because there were like people coming up to me like, "Oh, can we take a picture?" And I was like, "I mean, we can, but why?" And like everyone was nice. It was still in Croatia. Like, I don't want to say early beginnings, but even like today, people are like knowing, not knowing what cosplay is. It's still kind of iffy. But back then, like, that there were some assholes. It's fine, um, but it was a nice experience. I wasn't like a lot on a convention because it was 2017. I was with my parents, so I was like for a few hours, but it was nice.
That's awesome. So when you went to your first convention, were you Purple Toast cosplay yet? Or
No,
so what's the origin story behind the Purple Toast cosplay?
oh my god, I had so many different usernames. I had Instagram for, you know, like casual pictures, whatever. I think I found a photo for like from 2014, but Purple Toast, before it was just Purple Toast, and then I added cosplay. But yeah, people ask me a lot, why Purple Toast? And I always say, do you know Five Nights at Freddy's? Uh, so it was early beginning of FNAF. It was like maybe first two games released. And there was a meme with purple guy, and then his badge looked like toast. So I was like, well, toast is cool. I can add Purple Toast. I like FNAF. That's fun.
Okay, all right.
So
I
here
think
we are.
I think that's a cool origin story for your name. Now, I got to ask you now, and I'm pretty sure people, they may want to know this. Have you ever had Purple Toast before?
What do you mean, like real Purple Toast?
Yeah, like
Oh,
you know how some people like green eggs and ham, right? Like
yeah.
they'll add green food coloring to the eggs and the ham. Like, have you ever added purple food coloring to some
Ah,
toast and was just like, yo, I am eating purple toast right now?
I was thinking about it. I wanted to make a video, and then I would need to make bread, and then I saw how much time and effort goes into making bread, and I was like, oh man. Oh, and I'm not the biggest professional at cooking, so it would take a few tries.
All right. Well, look, hopefully in the future, when you have time, you actually make some bread, you add the food coloring to make it purple, and then you'd be like, I'm finally eating some purple toast. And you can even tell people that it's real. You could be like, I make purple toast because my name is Purple Toast. So now I got to ask you, because you've done some amazing cosplays, just like the Envy that you're doing right now. And I love Full
Thank
Metal
you.
Alchemist. You're welcome. I love Full Metal Alchemist. And to everybody that's watching, we interviewed John Swasey, who voices Hohenheim in the original Full Metal Alchemist and Brotherhood. So check that interview out. It is up here on YouTube, or you can listen to it on the podcast. So I want to know, give me your top 5 favorite cosplays that you've done.
Oh, well, Envy for sure. Then I would put Pyramid Head, because he ended up looking way better than I thought it was gonna be, because it was a con crunch. Probably Dio, because he also ended up looking better than I thought. Um, yeah, it's always like that. Alucard is also one of my favorites, and probably Yoshikage Kira.
Hey, as a Kira stan,
Yeah.
I love that. And I love that 2 of your favorites are JoJo cosplays. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's what brings us together, because we both love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And, you know, because you mentioned Kira as your last favorite, I'm going to go ahead and roll into the next question, which I ask every JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cosplayer that I have up here. Which part is your favorite part?
Oh man. Well, I love the second part, but I also read recently seventh part, and it was amazing. But I think I'm gonna stick with the second one, because it really got me into JoJo and like the binge watching after second part started. So, second part.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Part 2. It is one of those parts where it's like, I don't hear a lot of people say it's their favorite. So it's always awesome when you hear somebody say that part 2 is their favorite, because it always catches me off guard. Like, I do love the characters in part 2. And I just think that there's a lot of circumstances in part 2 where Joseph should have been taken out, but he wasn't. And I don't know how. I don't know. I mean, the man's lucky. That's all I can say.
Yeah, he's too lucky, and like he's lived through too many parts, which I love about him. But also Cars had a stand before it was cool. I mean,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, a lot of people, they don't look at it like that, but I mean, it's true. So I gotta ask you now, which Joestar is your favorite JoJo?
Who's that cosplayer?
Momcore.
it's same like Joseph
Okay.
and Johnny. But I think I'm gonna stick with part 2 to the end.
Okay, all right. So I mean, since Joseph and part 2 is your favorite, are there any future Joseph cosplays coming up?
Well, yes, I am really thinking about it because I can have a photo shoot with a plane. So that would be pretty cool. I can meme that, and I really want to do it.
That is awesome. Oh my God. I mean, like the opportunity to just take a photo with a plane. I mean, you know, I think about it all the time, like just dressing up as Kira and going to where an ambulance is and just taking photos with it. But I always feel like I'm gonna get in trouble if I do, because they're like, what are you doing here? But yeah, so we've been on the part 2 roll, and I'm gonna ask you next, which villain is your favorite villain?
Do I have to say it?
Is it I'm trying to think of somebody. Is it Mariah from part 3?
No, it's Cars.
I like Cars. Like, for real,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't understand like how it makes no sense, because he was the ultimate life form. So it's like, how did he freeze in space? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, probably because all of the living creatures that he could have been like on Earth would freeze to death. But I think there's like some physics he could have used in space to like throw him back to Earth. But I guess it's just bizarre, and Araki was like, nah, I'm done with Cars. Let him fly.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, I think it would have been fun, like in part 6, if, you know, like when Jolene was fighting the stand user. I can't remember his name, but the one that had asteroids coming out of the sky. If one of those was Cars, like that, I just think
that would have been cool.
That would have been cool and funny. That would have been funny. So, final JoJo question before we move along. If you had your own stand, what would your stand's name be, and what would the ability be?
I think about it a lot, and it would its name would definitely be Faderhead, since he's like one of my favorite musicians and it sounds cool. But ability, I want it to be something with shape shifting, because it is a part of the cosplay. I'm like, I don't have to cosplay, I can just, oh, cool. And like Cars was already onto it, so I don't think it's far-fetched to be a good stand.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like you would be able to get anywhere just by shape shifting. You would be similar to Mystique, and I think that's really interesting. Has there been a stand in the series that has been able to do that? I don't think so. I think that's.
I mean, I don't know if it's a spoiler for part 7.
I don't say it. Then. Don't say it.
Yeah,
don't say it.
Yeah. Okay, it's fine. But you know, it goes close to that.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. I mean, see, because I'm reading part 7.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, you're totally fine. I'm still in the early stages of part 7, so trust me. I feel like being a JoJo fan, like, you can't be spoiled, if that makes any sense.
I mean, I was spoiled Dio's stand way before I watched part 3, so I was like, the Polnareff going up and down the stairs, I was like, oh, I wonder what it is.
Yo, I totally feel that, because I'm going to be cosplaying as Jotaro, and my friend, both of my friends, one is going to be Dio and the other one is going to be Polnareff. And when I had went to the convention that we're going to be cosplaying at, I was just like, yo, those are some nice steps that we can use to recreate the meme of Polnareff keep going up the stairs with Dio and whatnot. So yeah, I think that
would be so cool.
You know, it's always cool creating JoJo stuff in real life. So the next question that I want to ask is, because we are in the spooky season, and I've seen like all of the horror cosplays that you've done, and I think that it's really dope. I mean, there's one right now on the Magic TV. So I want to ask you, what is your favorite horror movie of all time?
Oh, it's definitely Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
I love Freddy Krueger, and like I have a lot of nightmares. It's like fine. I just wake up and I'm like, "Ooh, I died, but I didn't." Cool. So I love the whole concept of nightmares and Freddy, and it's really spooky, and I love the vibe. So it's Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay, I mean, that's a great choice. Now, are you a fan of the entire series or just the first movie?
Oh, well, like first two were okay, then it kind of started going downhill, like all of the classic movies.
Yeah,
but it's fine.
Okay. All right, so are you one of those type of people that think that Freddy could have beat Jason, or were you rooting for Jason in that movie?
No, Freddy could have beaten Jason for sure.
All right. I like it. So, because again, you know, spooky season, I got to ask the questions and whatnot. One of the questions that my co-host Rebellious D always asks our guests on the podcast is, what was a scary moment in your life when you were a little kid that just stuck with you until today? Like maybe it could have been, you know, being in your bedroom at night and seeing shadows coming in from the windows, or, you know, being at your grandparents' house and hearing a creak somewhere and thinking it was a ghost. You got any scary stories to tell?
Well, I do. We were in an old house living with like my grandparents, and I would just start sleepwalking at random. And I would do it really sneakily. So I would just wake up in the random parts of the house, and they had the old clock that just, you know, you just hear it ticking really loud, and I would just like wake up near that clock, and I would be like, it's so dark. Where am I? Please someone pick me up. I would be so afraid. But it was my own doing, so.
That's insane. I mean, like I've heard stuff like that before, but never, you know, sleepwalking to the grandfather clock and then waking.
I also scared my parents because we had this like balcony door and old wooden like I don't know what to call it, but it goes like down the window. And I would just also sleepwalk to it and start clawing at it.
Wow.
So I think I scared more them with my sleepwalking than myself.
I mean, it's crazy because I mean, like you said, that sometimes like you still have nightmares and stuff like that. It's just like, you know, maybe when you were a kid, it's like you were trying to fight Freddy Krueger, and like that's the reason. Because like real talk, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like when I was a kid, I was so afraid of watching Nightmare on Elm Street just because at least with Jason and them, it's like you can possibly escape from those guys. But with Freddy, and once you go to sleep, he got you until the Dream Warriors came out, and it's like they could fight Freddy in their dreams. So final question for you. You were in a Nightmare on Elm Street. You are a Dream Warrior. What ability would you have in order to stop Freddy Krueger?
Oh, to wake up. Is that valid?
No, it's like, you know, because you got to take him out. You have to save the day. What is the ability that you're gonna have that is gonna take Freddy out? Like for me, for example, I always say if I was to be in the dream world, my ability would be one for all from My Hero Academia, because you know, go beyond plus ultra. So what would your ability be?
Can I just like spawn flamethrowers at will?
I mean, you can, and like there's super flamethrowers that'll just burn him to.
Yeah, I mean, he already is afraid of fire, so you know, a bit more fun. Oh my god, I can be like, oh no, my brain stopped working. Full Metal Alchemist, the Fire Alchemist.
Man, Mustang.
Yeah, I can just be. Oh no!
Just snapping your fingers, Freddy just like stop.
Yeah, he can do anything.
That would be so funny, man. And I could just picture you just sitting there, just bam, 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 bam. That scene was just so iconic in the.
Oh yeah, I cried the whole time.
Yo, it's like, I mean, that like Full Metal Alchemist is something that me and my co-host Rebellious D quote all the time, just because of like everything that happened. And like one of the best scenes will always be when Hughes goes to call Mustang, and Envy, who you are cosplaying as, is right behind him and like turns it to his wife and is just like, is this better for you? And bam. Oh man. Tragic.
It is. Like if anything got me in the anime, and I'm reading manga now, and I watched it 2 times, and I always cry when Envy dies. It's not fair.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
Yeah, they deserve
a lot of people.
Yeah,
but he was just like taking the stone out of himself. I'm like, you're so cute in this form. No.
Yeah, like I will say that I loved that in Brotherhood they changed some things. I mean, the original was good too, but Brotherhood was just so good when it came to like the character development with, you know, certain characters. And I think what makes both series really good is that the character development for everybody was just on point. But I mean, Brotherhood is much better. Another final question: which one do you prefer more, Brotherhood or the?
I haven't watched the original because I heard it was not canon, and I was like, well, I want to be on the canon train. I don't know why. I mean, I know why it was changed, because it was released before manga was.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I should watch it, because I saw some clips and the animation actually looks really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, currently I don't have time. I'm grinding for that October.
No, I feel you. Well, look, we're here at the end of the interview. Toast, it was awesome having you up here. You're an amazing cosplayer. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. So before I let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Well, purple.toast.cosplay on both TikTok and Instagram.
Awesome. And y'all make sure that y'all go and follow Purple Toast on all of their social media accounts. Slide in the DMs, wish them a happy Halloween. And you already know where you can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.